Adding and subtracting complex numbers. Just as with real numbers, we can perform arithmetic operations on complex numbers. To add or subtract complex numbers, we combine the real parts and then combine the imaginary parts. Complex numbers, addition and subtraction. When you're adding complex numbers, you have a plus bi plus c plus di. And what we do is we group the real numbers together, a plus c, plus we're going to group the imaginary numbers together, followed by the I. When we subtract complex numbers, we have a plus bi minus c plus di. We got to make sure that we distribute this sign, so we end up getting a minus c here for the real numbers, plus we get b minus di. Now, given two complex numbers, we want to find the sum or difference. We want to identify the real and the imaginary parts of each number, add or subtract the real parts, and then add or subtract the imaginary parts. So example 3, adding and subtracting complex numbers. So we're going to add and subtract as indicated. Here we have 3 minus 4i plus 2 plus 5i. So we're going to add the real parts and then add the imaginary parts. So here's the problem written again, 3 minus 4i plus 2 plus 5i. And then what we're going to do is, if there's a minus sign here, you're going to distribute. But in this case, we're going to remove our parentheses first. So we get 3 minus 4i plus 2 plus 5i. And then we're going to combine like terms. So what we're doing here is now we have 3 plus 2 using the commutative property plus negative 4 plus 5i. So now we end up with 3 plus 2, which is the real part, which is 5. And then we get negative 4 plus 5 is going to give us positive 1i. So the answer is 5 plus I. 5 is the real part. 1i is the imaginary part. Part B, we're going to subtract here. So we have negative 5 plus 7i minus negative 11 plus 2i. So here we have it in parentheses. So we have negative 5 plus 7i. And then what we're going to do is we're going to distribute this sign to both of those terms. So we get a negative times a negative 11 is plus 11, and negative times plus 2i is minus 2i. And then we're going to group our like terms together. We have negative 5 plus 11 plus 7i minus 2i. So we're going to group them. Negative 5 plus 11 is 6. 7 minus 2 gives you 5i. So the real part is 6. And the imaginary part is 5i.